Hi, welcome to our Clarity Call, our once a week Clarity Call. My name is Diana King, and I'm thrilled that you're able to join us on our live call or listening to us on our YouTube channel. I am extremely excited to introduce my very good friend, Robin Hack, the founder of Clarity. Robin is a very successful businesswoman. She is part of her family's 90-year-old company. She was a 5-figure monthly earner in other network marketing companies, built a huge team, and wanted to develop something that everybody could use, and just with an amazing comp plan. And Robin's going to take it away and share why she started Clarity, and we get to hear some great information on the product and some testimonies. And so I'm just thrilled that you get to hear from Robin's heart, because her heart is definitely in the right spot. She truly did this for all of you and myself, and just so thankful for the compensation plan from Clarity. So, Robin?
Thanks, Diana. Thank you. Yeah, everybody, well, welcome this evening. I thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy life. Everybody's so busy these days, and we're really excited to have you on the call and just to hear about the product that we have, our flagship product, Calibr8. And, yeah, my passion, like Diana said, is really about helping people, and that's why I decided a couple years ago to look into starting my own company in the network marketing industry. And when I got delving into it, and working with some people to develop the company, and my passion was about helping kids and their health. And I've always been really health conscious. Since I was 16, I've been a vegetarian and become more health conscious as I grew older. And you know, what I see out there for kids these days, and diseases that are starting at such young ages, and then all of us that are older, you know, I mean, it's just so sad. Every day I'm hearing of someone with some drastic disease, and either friend, relative, acquaintance, or whatever. It's just awful. And so my passion is truly about helping people health-wise, educating people, and then also about seeing people succeed financially. And that's what I'm really excited about with our company, how you can have both. And it's up to you. You know, you choose the path you want in our company. But first and foremost is the product. And that's what we're so excited to share. And tonight we're going to have a lot of testimonials, so it's very fun because people are just seeing such incredible results. But before we do that, I'm going to turn the call over to our VP of Product Development all the way from Australia, and his name is Chris Neville, and he has just a tremendous background. He's been at the forefront of creating products for years and years in the direct sales industry and other industries, regular just going to market industry. But anyway, he's got a tremendous background, and he's been at the forefront of the science that's behind our product, and that science is called nutrigenomics and epigenetics. And if you haven't heard of it, you can Google that. But nutrigenomics is nutrition at the gene level, and it is just so superior to what is been there out in the market in the past. And this is a new and cutting-edge science. And so we are just so excited because that's why it's really helping people. And kids are seeing tremendous results, and then so are adults. So I'm just honored to share with you tonight and turn the call over to Chris Neville. So, Chris, take it away.
Robin, thanks. Great to be on the call, and welcome everybody if you're new. It's an absolute pleasure and honor to be sharing some time with you. I guess just to give you a broad stroke overview, some people ask me, you know, what is Calibr8? What importantly would be to give you the 60-second version. What I'll do is I'll expand from there. Realistically, most people are in.
Chris? Chris,
hello?
Okay, now you're there.
I am, sorry. You hearing okay?
Now I am, yep. You started with a 60-second overview.
Sorry, it may just be a poor reception area. But let me just explain that from a 60-second overview, everybody is aware that inflammation is really the basis of chronic degenerative diseases. It doesn't matter whether it be cardiovascular disease, most forms of cancer, and certainly with central nervous system, Alzheimer's, dementia, etc. And most people are aware that antioxidants are beneficial for the body, and it's the way that we can combat free radical and oxidative stress damage in the body. But most people don't know is that there are actually really, in general terms, two types of antioxidants. There's antioxidants that we typically know, which is your secondary antioxidants from the diet. They're your superfoods, your superfruits, and obviously your vitamins, minerals, etc. They are antioxidants from the diet, and they're regarded as secondary antioxidants. The primary antioxidants are actually made by the body, and Calibr8 is a product that's targeted towards supporting the body making more of its own primary antioxidants. So that's a 60-second version of it, whereby we identify that inflammation is the challenge, the great challenge of the modern era. It doesn't really matter unless it's an infectious disease. At the basis of every degenerative condition right now we have is inflammation. And if inflammation is the problem and the source of all aging, sickness, and disease, and we can address the source of aging, sickness, and disease within the cell, not just the organ or the system of the body, instead of focusing on the signs and the symptoms, which is where secondary antioxidants and much of the marketing that's actually addressing in the nutritional arena is focused, then what we're able to do is we're able to be proactive in prevention at the source rather than signs and symptoms. And that's really the key hub of what Calibr8 was designed around. The exciting arena that Robin mentioned is this nutrigenomics. Nutrigenomics is an emerging science that communicates to the genes. So it's really nutrition that talks to your genes in general terms. And the exciting thing about that is that we've identified certain compounds and nutrients that actually have this functional benefit. And if we look at aging, sickness and disease and inflammation, and think of the word inflammation as fire, how do we put out the fires that are causing the aging, sickness and disease and inflammation at the source? Do we throw a bucket of water at the fire? Do we bring a fire truck in to put out the fire? And that's where the antioxidant story is bringing something in as a nutrient to quench or neutralize oxidative stress and free radical damage. And my berry's bigger than your berry as an argument. And there's some valid science around that. However, nutrigenomics is really not about bringing the super antioxidant into the body. It's about sending the fireman in to the cell and this messenger and flipping on the switch at the gene level so the body's making its own antioxidants, like flipping the switch to the sprinkler system to put the fire out. So we're not trying to bring an antioxidant into the body, although we do have a combination of those pathways as functions, but the primary focus is about flipping the switch because the body makes its own primary antioxidants and detoxification enzymes. And so if we can focus and target on that, which are actually millions of times more potent than secondary antioxidants, we're actually being far more efficient and providing far more benefit to the body than what any secondary antioxidant is ever likely to do. And that's why it's so exciting as a science, because we've really been able to start to work with an understanding of the body will utilize the primary antioxidants until such time as they're exhausted, and then start looking for antioxidants derived from the diet. And so rather than trying to get the antioxidants in that bucket of water, that fire truck to put the fire out, we're really just focusing on let's keep the sprinkler system quenching the fire and the oxidative stress in the body, and let's keep the detoxification system operational and functional to eliminate the toxic buildup. at the fundamental level of inflammation is you either have a deficiency of some nutrients in the body or you have a toxicity that's built up in the body where the body is now overwhelmed. And what happens is that there's a tipping point where we create this negative spiral in the dis-ease state whereby the body is now overwhelmed. And realistically, that's why prevention is far better than looking for a cure. And what we're able to do is proactively bring about the nutrients that we know through the multiple patents that are contained within the formulation of the Calibr8 and the Calibr8 Kids, and being able to provide the body optimal levels of nutrients that are able to support the body's primary antioxidant production. And people will ask, is it good for? Is it okay for? And quite simply, we're not in the treatment business. We're in the prevention business of supporting the body do what it does best. And as we know, prevention is certainly the key focus in being able to eliminate the challenge. But what's more important is that if we look at all of the key things that we consider to be challenges as far as health is concerned, where 1 out of 3 people will have a cardiovascular disease, and the first sign of a heart attack is a heart attack for most people. And obviously not such a great survival rate for that. And then you look at the myriad of other layers of conditions, whether it be cancers or arthritis or osteoporosis, the central nervous system with Alzheimer's and dementia, asthma, bronchitis. When you look at each of those labels, at the fundamental level, there's still oxidative stress and toxicity and inflammation at the source. So we're not trying to treat something, we're just trying to identify if that's what's happening at a functional level within the body, how can I, on a daily basis, in my lifestyle approach, because for me, clarity is not about a product, it's about a lifestyle approach, because what you do on a daily basis is you're either having habits and you're living with certain habits and lifestyle habits that will either promote health or detract from your health. And this is just a very powerful and focused way of being able to get to the fundamental cause of aging, sickness, and disease, rather than living with the effects and looking at the signs and the symptoms and throwing dollars and time and energy in that direction there. And so it's a very, very exciting era. We've got a more elaborate presentation that we're designing at the moment that will, in 30 minutes, expand on some of the science behind it, some of the research. It's incredibly interesting, well, I find at least, and I certainly hope that you'll find that to be the case as well, where we can take a look at what are the things that we can do on a daily basis that can certainly optimize health. And the testimonials that we're hearing back at the moment are nothing short of exciting for those who are obviously living the experience, but it's also very encouraging for us to be able to realize that there are so many people out there that are suffering, and inflammation is the source of their suffering, irrespective of how things are actually playing out. And pain is a big issue for many, many people. And we know that acute inflammation plays a role with pain, but when it turns from acute to chronic, this is really the mechanism which starts to rip apart the body and start to cause a lot of challenges long term. And we're wanting to support the body's natural process of being able to eliminate oxidative stress and remove the toxicity and the build-up within the body as well. And that's kind of a general overview of where things are at there. There's some fabulous ingredients in the product. You'll hear a lot of the information in the background about sulforaphane, which is produced by our broccoli sprout powder, which is what we call enzyme active. And there's if you went to PubMed, that's pubmed.org, O-R-G, on the website, did a Google in there, in that website, and put in sulforaphane, there'll be over 1,000 white papers in the research on sulforaphane and the benefits that are being researched right now in that arena. It's probably, without doubt, the single most versatile natural compound known to science, with the impact in multiple pathways of being able to support the body's primary antioxidant production, the upregulating or enhancing the detoxification of the body at a cellular level. We hear about, a liver cleanse and a kidney cleanse and a bowel cleanse and all of these different cleanses. Well, they're great for the systems and organs of the body, but if we can go even deeper into the cells of the body, that's really, again, focusing on where the source, rather than the signs and the symptoms. And so this is where we're looking at the holistic approach to well-being rather than trying to isolate these different fragments of organs and systems in the body. And that's certainly going to have a broad range benefit to many, many people. The difference with the children's formulation is that ultimately we haven't got as much of the nutrigenomic ingredients within the formulation, so we're able to keep the product a little cheaper for the children, but also hopefully they're not as toxic as the years that the adults potentially have accumulated toxins within their system. And we also provide a broader base of probiotics and enzymes for the children, as well as some other phytonutrients from vegetables and fruits. So these are all important elements and nutrients for being able to help young growing bodies as well. And I'm really thrilled with some of the testimonies that are coming into the office on a daily basis and the benefits that some of the children are experiencing, and in many respects the family impact that has as well. Most people, if they're not health conscious, that they start to pay attention when they're not well. And the reality of the matter is that, disease is not something that we catch. It's something that we create ourselves based on a lifestyle over time. And so it comes to a certain tipping point over that timeline where we start to go, oh goodness, this is not such a good thing, this is not such a great feeling or way of being, and what about? And so this is where sometimes the search for shifting our lifestyle habits and being able to support the body's natural mechanisms more effectively. And we're just excited at Clarity to be able to offer a product for the adults as well as for the kids that can help at that foundational part. Is this the only product? Well, it's the starting point. There's so many other areas in which we'll be going into over the coming years that we know that from Robin and her vision and what she wants to create for the company, in being able to identify these key things, the little hinges that swing the big doors, the things that really get the job done, and being able to help the body do what it does, and that is to stay well, be well. Robin, over to you.
Thank you, Chris. That was awesome. So appreciate it. All right. Well, I just can't wait to hear some of the testimonials that we have this evening. So I'm going to set the phone so everybody can star 6, or one person can come at a time. I know we have quite a few people that want to share this evening. So I heard Dawn Douglas on the phone. Dawn, are you there? Can you star 6?
Hi, Robin.
Oh, Charlotte. Okay. Go
Hi.
for it.
I'll just share one of the experiences I've had taking Calibr8. In February, I had some serious digestive tract issues and pains in my side, and so I had an endoscopy and colonoscopy, and when I got the photos back, it showed that my digestive system was really inflamed. The pictures looked really raw. Anyway, the pain didn't subside. Started taking Calibr8 in April, and now the pain is gone. It gradually diminished, and I attribute it to starting on Calibr8. And the pain's all gone, like I said. My energy level has increased dramatically, and I'm more focused. So I'll keep calibrating with Calibr8. It's working fantastic.
Oh, thank you, thank you. One thing I do want to mention is we are not making any medical claims here. Every person that's sharing this evening is just sharing their own testimonial of what Calibr8 has done for them. We're not saying that it's going to cure anything, and so we're just here sharing how the product is working for all of us. So who's next? Dawn, are you there? *6 to unmute your line.
Hello?
Yeah, there you are.
There I am. I was pushing #6 instead of *6. Need some more Calibr8. Let me get rid of these dogs. I tell you, I started taking Calibr8 about, I think this is my 6th week, and I've always had bad shocks on both 5 years. So
Wait, we can't hear you. You had, what did you say? I'm sorry. You had bad shoulders?
Yeah, I've got 2 shoulders that have very limited movement in both shoulders, and have had for, one of them about 12 years and one about 5. Can you hear me now?
Yes, perfect.
And I think probably was driving a truck for 35 years, so my right arm, I could only lift it about halfway up level. I couldn't reach out with it. And so I favored the left arm, and it got worse than the right. So I've had to put up with it for a long, long time. I've tried a few things and tried therapy and so forth, and nothing's really worked for me until I started taking Calibr8. And I can lift my left arm over my head, and I do a lot of work in we have an installation company, so I do a lot of work with drilling and so forth. And I was able to lift my arms up above my head and drill into a wall the other day, and that's the first time I've been able to do that in probably 10 years. So inflammation must be disappearing, and I don't have any other reason for it. It's just gotten extremely limber, working. Still got a little bit of pain, but I think now that I've got motion, I think the pain will begin to go away and the muscle will get stronger. And so I'm, I love it. Keep up the good work, Chris. In Australia, I appreciate it.
Thank you, Don.
Thank you. Great story. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. All right. How about, I know I heard Armida, *6.
Hi.
And hi.
Hi. Yes. Before I started Calibr8, I am out of shape, and I had gone for a walk. And on this particular walk, I had to stop at least 3 or 4 times to catch my breath, and before I could continue. And that was a real struggle for me, and I felt so sore that day and the next day. And Calibr8, I started about like on a Thursday, but that Monday, I felt like the energy level increased tremendously for me, and I even got so much energy that I started walking, and I'm walking 3 miles a day now, Monday through Friday. But what I noticed when I first started walking was, even though I was breathing heavier as I was walking, I didn't have to stop and rest and catch my breath during my walk. And also, when I got back from my walk, I wasn't sore. That was, like, incredible to me. I couldn't understand why I wasn't sore. And I haven't been sore since I've been walking. I also noticed that I sleep better. I sleep more soundly. And I also haven't had my allergies. I do have allergies, and they haven't affected me since I've been on Calibr8. So I'm feeling really good with it, really happy with it.
Thank you. That's awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right. Who's next? How about, I think I heard Deborah Cummings. Deborah?
Hello. Can you hear me?
Hello. Yes. Welcome.
Hi. Thank you. Great call so far. I love all the testimonies. I have just seen incredible amount of energy, and I work from 6:30 to 4 every single day, so I'm up quite early, so I try to go to bed by 9 and read a little bit, but I'm usually exhausted by 5 or 6, so I don't go out much. And what I noticed with Calibr8 was I was hanging out a lot later. I actually had a phone call one night when I was at dinner, and a girl texted me and said, "Hey, can you talk? I know it's late. Are you asleep already?" And I'm like, "No, I'm at dinner." And I noticed it was 9:15 at night, and I was like, wow, like I didn't feel tired yet. I wasn't ready to go to bed. And that was so abnormal for me because I was usually in bed between 8:30 and 9, and I'm sleeping really well. It's just crazy, and it's not an energy where, like when you go to Starbucks and you have a burst of caffeine and you're kind of shaky and unfocused and a little scattered, and then you hit the low. It's just like this even energy that you don't really even notice. You just keep going, and it's just incredible. It's so weird for me, but I just love it. I will drink it forever and pay whatever it costs because I have so many extra hours in the day. I don't know what to do with myself because I'm kind of bored now because I have all these like extra hours to go.
Good for you. Well, that's great.
Awesome. Yeah,
Thank you for sharing. Thank you. All right. I believe is Sybil on the call. Wait a minute. Anybody else?
Okay, now can you hear me?
Oh, I can hear you. There you are.
Excellent. I had on my phone, so that didn't work. But anyways, well, I'll give the kids' testimonial. My name's Sybil, and I've actually spoken once before. I've known Robin and Diana for a long time and couldn't wait to get this so I could try it on my son, well, my daughter too, but I am actually a nurse. I'm an ER nurse, have been for 18 years. And we started as soon as it was ready. My son has Asperger's, fairly severe to the point where he has been in a special education classroom for 3.5 years now, and a locked classroom because he would run when he gets very anxious. So that's where I've noticed the biggest thing. My daughter they both have ADHD, which frankly, in all of my nursing experience, I see that more kids have it, and I could tell y'all what I think about that. But with all the chemicals and everything, we've tried everything. And with my son, we tried neurofeedback, and it made a huge difference. But since we've been on Calibr8, he's actually, my boyfriend and I have 4 kids together. He is the best behaved out of all of them at this point. And now everyone is taking it, where we just started because I had a limited budget at the time, so I started with Tanner, then I added my daughter, and I was taking it. Now all 6 of us are taking it. And the biggest thing I can say, well, number one, we went away this weekend with all 6 of us, and not one single person, there was no, he touched me, she cut me in line, I don't want to eat that. Like, not a single negative anything. Everyone kept it together. We went to Universal Studios. There was no anything. It was crazy. We were talking on the way home, my boyfriend and I, going, are we crazy, or is it crazy, or I don't know what's going on. But the biggest testimony I have now is my son has been out of school for a month. He started summer school yesterday, and the teacher that he has had him for 3 years. So she's seen him in his violent tantrums. She's seen him run multiple times, and she literally told me when I picked him up yesterday, sorry, I haven't cried yet until I have to tell people, but she looked right at me and she said, whatever you were doing, I want it, and we need to put everybody on it because we didn't even recognize him today. Like, he was just so calm. He was so just sat in his chair, and that to me is huge because it's not, she's seen him at his worst, and it's not family. So that meant a lot to me. So anyway, she's already ordered it, and she was just floored by it. So, and on my aspect as a nurse, I have just noticed when I was talking to someone today about it that I don't take Motrin 20 times a day anymore, or Tylenol, and I have chronic back and neck pain from 18 years of pulling people and pushing gurneys and everything else. So that was huge to me, which I hadn't really focused on. And energy is crazy. I've been home since 6. We had swim practice, and since you guys have been on the call, I have done a load of laundry, started dinner, made Rice Krispie treats, and swept my floor while I was listening. So that was like when I was 20. That hasn't happened recently. So anyways, I could write a book on it, but for those of us who know, that's the kids aspect. It's absolutely amazing, and I can't even say enough.
Oh, thank you. It's heart-wrenching. Sybil, thanks for sharing. Oh, that's fantastic. Exciting. Well, does anybody else? And we definitely have Q&A if you want to ask any questions. Chris is on the line about the product or about the company, about the compensation plan. Any other testimonials or anybody want to have any questions or answers? *6.
I have a question. Oh, sorry.
Go right ahead. Who was that?
Who's talking? This is Sybil again. I just have a quick question for Chris. How do I know, or when do you determine if the kids should be on the kids or they should be on the adult? Like, how do you decide which one is better? I have an 11-year-old who's going to be 12. We have 11, 10, 9, and 8.
Great question. Well, firstly, it's realistically a choice point, and that is 12 years old is a great starting point onto adults. But realistically, any time between 12 to 14 as a migration for kids to adults is more than okay. It's really just about the different growth cycles specifically, particularly if somebody is going through puberty. Would be a great time to start to do a migration onto an adult formula, because obviously there's going to be, different, nutritional needs there. So that's probably the easiest. It's a 12th birthday, therefore we move them on to adults. I think just making that. And I think the other thing as well, being realistic, particularly for those who've got, more than one child, and it's a budgetary thing. It wouldn't matter if somebody was 18 years old as a child at university. If they're on the kids formula, that's 100% better than nothing. So look at it as being a combination of those two variables, budget and also the lifestyle. Hope that helps.
Great. All right, who was the next one?
I've got a question for Chris. This is Don.
Yeah, we hear you.
Oh, okay. I started off taking 1 scoop. Now I'm doing 2 in the morning, and probably the last 4 or 5 days, I started 1 at night. And I don't know. I mean, I don't think you can overdose, but can you put too much of it in your system?
Great question again. Firstly, one a day is really maintenance level for some people that we've heard that are taking a couple of scoops in the morning and maybe 1 in the afternoon because they're potentially working with a health challenge and they're trying to help the body optimize its cellular function. If you're taking 2 or you're taking 10 scoops a day, what's going to happen is that the body is going to go through sometimes it's referred to as a healing crisis, whereby it's actually clearing out a lot more of the toxic debris in the body, and sometimes the clearing out phase happens faster than our elimination. And what I mean by that is that it's being removed from the cell, but it's not out of the body yet. And so when it's removed from the cell and it's still circulating before it's actually going through the elimination channels, it's that time there when it sometimes can build up, and you might just feel a little bit lethargic, a little bit headachy, or a bit nauseous. And if you're taking too much, you may get a little bit of diarrhea. That'll be about the worst case scenario for anybody. And all we would suggest is cut back. Just cut back so it's comfortable, and then to ramp it up a little bit if that's what you feel drawn to do.
All right, great. Thanks, Chris.
Pleasure.
Next. Anybody else? I thought I heard another question coming in.
It wasn't a question. This is just Diana. I'm just so excited. I mean, the Clarity launched April 28th, give or take a few days, and we're just in June, and these testimonies are coming in is just mind-blowing, just so phenomenally exciting. So thank you, Chris and Robin, for putting so much energy into making just an incredible product and not cutting any corners, because if there was corners cut, we would not be hearing the wide range of testimonies that we're hearing. I mean, from children to 86 and everything in between. It's just phenomenal.
I have a funny
testimonial.
So much. Thank you. Thanks, Diana. Go ahead, Chris.
I was just going to make a comment on the back of that, and I really appreciate your kind words. There was a lot of thought and consideration and obviously decisions in building a product. But building a product to a benefit rather than to a price point was always, part of the thing that I know that was important for Robin in the decision making in bringing the product to the market. But what's more important is that, either we're going to invest in areas whereby a product's going to be beneficial to our prevention, or we're going to pay for it at some point in time in pain and some other form of dysfunction of the body. So it's an investment, and we respect that, everybody's got budget, but we could have, broken it down into 2 or 3 products realistically and tried to accommodate that as a approach. But it's identifying that, well, if primary antioxidant production and detoxification is going to be that fundamental for everybody, let's just build that product, and then there are other areas that we can go in terms of refinement into other categories over time. But appreciate your feedback very much.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
All right. I have one funny testimonial that will give everybody a laugh, but I had somebody call me the other day and say, guess what? My 90-year-old friend, she didn't realize that it was a month's supply, and she drank the whole packet in one serving. And she was stayed up till 3 in the morning because she felt so good. So anyway, it's not going to hurt you, that's for sure. Oh, so gotta love that. So anyway, anybody else?
I think that covers off the question on the can we have too much?
Yeah,
the grandma.
Definitely. Well, for those of you that are new and haven't tried the product, please get back with whoever got you on the phone this evening, because this is a life-changing product, and we're so excited. And the longer you're on it, I know everybody's just going to see more and more results, and so that's what's so fantastic. And I just keep noticing things myself that it's helping with, so I love it. And we do also, as most of you know, this is a network marketing company, so there is a business attached. So if you decide that you love the product and want to start sharing it with other people, there's definitely an income stream that you can build with our company. So whoever told you about Clarity, please ask them about the potential that there is with our company, whether it be a fit for you to just use the product or if you're interested in sharing it with others. But that will wrap it up for this evening, and we'll have another call next Tuesday night. And I just want to thank all of you that took the time out of your busy lives to get on the call this evening and share your testimonials so other people could benefit, because I'm sure some of the things you said tonight triggered their mind into somebody they know with the same problem or same situation, so they can go share it with their friends. So anyway, thanks so much, everybody, for embracing Clarity and for being. Good night.
All right. Thanks, Robin. Good night, everyone.
Thank you. Thanks. Good night.
Thank you, Robin. Thanks, Chris.